Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So you should know this chart by now. It's pretty sad. It's pretty boring what's going on here. But you know, with the latest price action, it just gets more and more likely that we are gonna see a continuation to the downside. I said, I think in one of the last few videos, that this is going to be, this could be really a decision weekend here, because we are basically in a range at the moment, and the breakout of the range will dictate or indicate the further price moves that we're going to see here probably over the next few weeks. We still have two counts here, one bullish and one bearish count, but we need to be more and more mindful that this chart is looking really low energy. Weaker and weaker it gets, the further it moves sort of just sideways without any clear direction really. And if you're a trend trader, you would normally avoid this kind of price action. If you're a range trader, this is exactly for you. This is also the kind of price action that you want to, you maybe use a trading bot for, if you do that. But yeah, it's not very exciting price action, I have to tell you that as well. It is nothing that excites people. Always see it when the views go down, we are most likely in some kind of a triangle or something, because in the end that's not what people want to see. It's repetition, and this is just basically a continuation from the previous video. But obviously wanted to clarify a little bit more here the latest developments. Can we already count here an Elliott Wave triangle? How would an Elliott Wave triangle in wave 4 be counted, and what would be a target for a new low? So I don't have much confidence anymore in the bullish count, but I have to say, and this is developing as we go along, because what I said very much in the beginning, that we have some bullish potential here, but the longer the sideways action in this range takes place, and the more we are putting a structure in place for a triangle, the more likely will be the continuation to the downside. And triangles are extremely difficult, not only to count, but also to identify, because they can extend, they can morph in and out, they can just change in size, and it usually gets very obvious in hindsight what the wave count was for a triangle, but when you're in it, it is extremely difficult. And triangles oftentimes take place in a wave 4. So we've got this wave 4 here, that's the green count. The green count is actually the bearish count, where we're looking at one more low, at least I would say. And talked about before, sort of the range between 14 to 15k for that, probably round about the 14.5k level. If we lose this range, then we are probably going to say hello to the 10.5k level, 10k, that's the 88.7% FIB level. And if we lose that level, 6k, 3k, that's sort of the sequence. This would not be in any way harmful to the long-term chart, I have to tell you that as well. Not at all, But you just sort of lack the strength here at the moment. This can be counted still as a breakout pattern as well. So we just need to wait for the signal of the market. But as I said, the longer this takes, the more likely is a move down going to be. So be prepared for that. Absolutely. Now, how would a bullish breakout be happening? How would that occur? Is it likely? It's possible. And, it wouldn't be the first time that we had this situation with Bitcoin, that a chart looks very strong, and then suddenly you see all the buyers come in and you hit some upside targets and maybe even overshoot them. Therefore, we always need to be prepared for that, even though a lot of people, say sometimes I shouldn't show the bullish count. But, I'm not telling you to buy. I just show you what's possible, what the market can do. And I've seen those kind of movements often enough in Bitcoin and crypto, where people get completely caught out, completely surprised of these movements. And you get them, right? And that's why I show it to you, because Bitcoin has reached a level where it doesn't need to go any lower. Bitcoin has come down enough. Until June, my agenda was very clearly new lows. We had to get, and that's what we talked about back in November already, we had to get below 29k, which we did in the end. It took like 6, 7, 8 months to get there. Maybe not 8 months. It took sort of 7 months, So target was reached, and then what we said, as soon as that target was reached of the higher level wave pattern for Bitcoin, we need to take it level by level by now, and just need to see, as we make new lows, does a bullish wave pattern emerge? If not, it's most likely further downside. Here we had a nice rally to the upside. It wasn't ideal, I mentioned that from the start. Not a high confidence pattern, especially with this low move down, this strong retracement, but a possibility, yeah, a possibility. And this can still become a so-called 1-2-1-2 pattern. So a breakout to the upside here. Wave 1 to the upside, wave 2 to the downside that bottomed here at around 15.8k. Then you would believe or expect that we are in the wave 3 in red. The wave 3 in red would consist of the yellow waves here to the upside, wave 1 done. And we're probably now waiting here for this wave 2 to play out. It's a W, X, Y. And in this Y wave, we're waiting for an ABC, but it's currently kind of losing its structure here. And that is exactly why I am making you aware that it's losing its structure. Yeah, because in a wave C, you should actually see some further continuation to the downside. It's currently not following through on that. So this is moving against the bullish count. And as you know, we need to be flexible. And as soon as we see something change in the charts, as soon as new price evolution or price development comes in, we need to make sure that we understand what implications it could have. And just the immediate move to the upside in a wave 3 will, it's getting less likely. 4 down, 5 up. Now, this is sort of how it would work out, right? And in the red wave 3, you would reach like the 20k level. That's sort of what you would be looking at. So ideally for this wave 2 in yellow, you would actually be waiting for one more leg down, maybe into the region 16.1k before you can start moving. Yeah, but we're not following through on that. So there's two more. So that would be the bullish count, and the bearish count can play out into two main ways. First of all, the bearish count could be a very simple, or let's say it has become a more complex one, but it could become a complex ABC. So it could be wave A to the upside here, wave B down here where we had the wave 2, and would be working now on a wave C to the upside. But again, it's losing its structure. It would basically, this pattern would be basically in line with the yellow wave count to the upside here, the 5-wave move that would play out in a wave C. We would need to see that play out. Maybe not to that strength, but it would be like an impulsive move to the upside in a wave C. Yeah, so, but it's also not following through on that. Leaves one action, one option, which is quite likely, which would be the triangle pattern. And the Elliott Wave triangle is a triangle that you count in a way in this case, where it would get to a breakout to the downside without seeing any significant upside. And by the way, bear in mind there's the resistance area here around, starting at around 16.9 all the way up to 17.1k. So any breakout to the upside would need to go through that range. And I've looked at the chart again. I've looked at what would actually the sort of triangle pattern need to do. And if we count a triangle, it's an ABCDE. And we would ideally say this would be a wave A, then a wave B to the downside. Well, actually then you would say that all of this, I mean, yeah, you could count the subwaves, but actually ideally looking at it, you would be now looking at a wave C to the upside, possibly here, but actually this doesn't really convince me in a wave C yet. I looked at the subwaves and everything, so ideally I want to see a wave C to the upside, a wave D down, and another wave E up. So this could take a little more longer, yeah, to play out, yeah. So bear in mind, further sideways movement will confirm the triangle pattern and will lead to a breakout to the downside. And the breakout to the downside for me would be confirmed as soon as we get below the 15.8k level, already below 16,070, it will get much more likely. And I'm starting to lean more and more towards the downside here. At least it's getting more likely the further we move sideways, but also, again, we won't know until we get a signal by the market. And I've seen it often enough in crypto that you get these movements to the upside out of the blue, and that surprises a lot of people. You won't be surprised if you see that, because you know that it is most likely going to be, an impulse, yeah, either in a wave 4, so a wave C of a wave 4, or it would be a final, a real breakout, and target for that 5-wave move to the upside would be around the 20k level. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.